Hello, folks. Welcome to episode 5, where last time we did the piece of floor under the shower. All right, we got this done last time. I've moved all the crap from there to there from over here. So, yeah, review. The shower, the bathtub drain is going to go somewhere around in here. Not exactly there, but somewhere in there. Maybe a little closer over that way and a little closer that way. Over here will be a standalone faucet. And then we'll have, up in the wall here, we'll have some valves so we can turn off the water going to the standalone faucet. Underneath is the drain line, which comes under here, as well as the hot and cold pipes, which we're feeding these two pressure lines for the old jacuzzi tub. And then they are also feeding these 4 pressure lines for the 2 vanities. So this episode is going to be tearing up this floor and re-plumbing all of that. All right, so this is what it looks like underneath. So supply lines obviously come in this direction. This drain goes underneath my feet to the left, behind me towards the toilet drain. Why they ran this drain this way and over instead of tapping into the plugged drain that's attached to this vent underneath the vacuum there. They could have tapped into a 3-inch drain there and just come straight through here and hit both the vanity and the tub and avoided these 2+ inch holes through a 7¼ inch tall piece of lumber. I don't understand. Clearly, they weakened the crap out of it. Because where I'm standing is about 1 inch lower in elevation than that corner. I'm not very far away. So, it's frustrating. It's like they drilled a bunch of holes and they ran pipes that they didn't need to run in this direction. Anyway, I'll figure out how to do the pressure plumbing here. I'm going to have to cut another piece out of here so that I can run down an elbow and back this way and then tap into these 3/4 inch lines. And I'm going to have to do that twice because 2 supplies are coming, or 2 coming in and then 2 leaving. That'll be fine. All right, folks, we're back here at work on the plumbing. So last time in the video, I was showing me welding in here. And since then, I've completed integrating the hot on the left, I think, and the cold over to these valves. And then these will go under through this bay to here, and then that way to the freestanding faucet. The drain, I'm going to need to move this drain or cap this drain, put in a T here, and run the drain over here for the tub, which is in the middle of the tub. And then did these two corners and had to cap this off. My torch was giving me some very aggravating challenges, and so I had to cut off on the evening I was doing this. My wife was at a basketball game, and I had to have the power off or water off to the house, of course, so I wanted to run it all the way across and run the supply for the two vanities, but with the torch giving me a hard time, I had to hurry. My friend Greg saved my butt by lending me his map torch, which worked beautifully. I was done in 20 minutes after I got the torch. So these are 3/4 pipe, of course, but I'm using the thicker pipe. I forget which. L, I think. L or M, whichever is the thicker. And anyway, so today I hope to finish the pressure lines to the vanity and maybe finish the drain for the tub, cut the plywood, set the tub on top, measure for the hole, and then run the plumbing and the drains, and then run these two pipes over and in. So that's the goal. We'll see how it goes. Hello, folks. So we are addressing the drain and the plumbing for the standalone tub and faucet. So here, outer line here, the big oval is the vertical drop down from the edge of the tub. The inner oval is the base of the tub, of course, drain, and then the faucet will come out over in this area here. Glue. We have two windows. And set the tub on this tube. And then if I need to do anything about fixing a leak or replacing anything, then of course I have to go through the bottom because I don't want to have to rip up the tile floor again. So since I didn't have any solution on how to make it so that I could put the tub down and then be able to join the thing together, or put the tub most of the way down, pull something up, join it to the tub, and then lower it down, I couldn't come up with anything like that that seemed reasonable. So this is how I'm going. I also need to, these are the lines for the faucet. So I'll be doing that today as well. The goal is to get all of this floor down which requires, of course, that I pressure test all my joints before I put the floor down. So that's the goal. All right, folks, so finally got the pressure test done. So marked hot and cold behind there. This video right here is more of a documentation of what it is. So this is hot, and that's cold. Hot, cold, I'm sorry, yes. Hot, because it goes on the outside, up this pipe, far pipe, and that's the first nipple is the hot and cold for the, and the far one is the cold, as specified by the standing freestanding faucet directions. So I think that will hold them pretty well. The center of the hole, or the center between the two nibs, is 4.5 inches from the base plate, or 4 inches from the finished wall board. And then I've also pressure treated this guy just by filling him with water for a while, and he drained and no leaks from in there, so I'm happy with that. Time to put down the floor. All right, folks, we're almost done with the subfloor here. All I got to do is I got to vacuum, remove a few screws from that were screwed up from below to hold the wallboard along this corner here, and insulate, and then cut one more piece of plywood and screw it down, and then we can start thinking about adding some fittings to this pressure line right here for the toilet, and to extend that up so that we're ready to put down the hardy backer whenever we get there. But then we can also start rebuilding the shower wall and entrance here as our next step. Let's get cracking, as they say. All right, so it's all down. That's the last of the subfloor work and end of this video. So next video is going to be wrapping up some of the plumbing, pressure plumbing above the subfloor, and starting on the shower wall. Good times, things are moving along. Take it easy.